What's going on, YouTube? We're back at it for another gun build video, and today we're talking about the Automaton, or Automaton, or however you'd like to say it. All I know is that it's an absolute laser. There's zero recoil to this. I mean, if the M13 had a stronger cousin, this is the weapon of choice. When I say no recoil, I mean it's ridiculous how easy it is to control this weapon. Almost zero effort on your part to even pull down. Large magazine count, decent damage, high fire rate, long range capable. I mean, no matter what other weapon that may be strong, powerful, any other contender, this is going to be the bot's choice. I guarantee you this is either going to be the top of the meta when it comes to Pacific Warzone integration, if not right there in the top second or third place. It's going to be one of those weapons that is beyond easy to control. Now, I do say this, but some things may change when they push this into the integration. Maybe some of the attachments will change. But I still imagine, even if they did tweak it a bit, this will probably be one of the easiest ARs to control for long range, besides the STG. In a lot of ways, I feel like the STG is going to get nerfed before we even roll into the integration, so this would be that next weapon. That would be perfect for long range, zero recoil, decent damage, high fire rate. Overall, this is a weapon you definitely need to level up before we go into the Warzone Pacific integration. Now let's get into the attachments, and then got some banger gameplay to showcase at the end of this. This weapon drops it. I mean, the amount of times I got so close to a V2 with this, just effortlessly. But when it comes down to the muzzle, I'm using recoil booster. I really wanted to maximize the recoil with, or the fire rate with this weapon, considering we don't have much of the recoil factor to even mitigate. It's barely there in the first place. Easiest weapon to control by far. Honestly, wouldn't use anything else other than the recoil control or the G28 compensator when leveling this weapon until you get to this recoil booster. When it comes to the barrel, we're just using the starting barrel, the ZAC 600mm BFA for that highly accurate and controllable reduced scope sway and gun bob. Just making it as accurate as it needs to be, and honestly, wouldn't need to use anything else. You know, you may think higher damage with this, but no headshot damage bonus. You're not getting much more damage when it comes to this, and we've got, what was it, another magazine attachment that'll essentially give us the same damage this will. You could possibly stack these two, but when you're looking for accurate and reliable, ZAC 600 is going to be that one barrel you're really going to utilize. Now later on, maybe the sniper barrel, maybe possibly something for Pacific Warzone that may be a little bit better, considering it's got more range, a little bit more accuracy, but bullet velocity as well. We don't want that drop at long range. Something to look forward to later on. Now, when it comes to optics, obviously I was using the SLATE reflector. I did a lot of this, or used a lot of this weapon on shipment, so I needed something close range. If you're going for more of a long range, kind of taking on some fights on bigger maps, G16 would obviously be something to use. Great for also controlling the recoil accuracy, just making it even more of a laser. The only thing we're taking a negative on this is the ADS time, which is already pretty snappy in the first place. And when it comes down to the stock itself, in the beginning I was using the EMPRESS broadsword, but I wanted that accuracy and recoil during sustained fire, as well as getting that flinch resistance. The initial accuracy and recoil, trust me, it's barely there. I mean, it kind of teeters up. You'll see it in the gameplay. It's pinpoint. No worries to go along with it, and you're just going to be knocking those heads straight out of the park. Now, proficiency, obviously, we're just trying to make this even more accurate as possible. Tight grip, we got that accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. Now, you could make the argument of frenzy, but a lot of times we're going for medium, long range. We could do some close range fights with this weapon, but if you're going to go with anything, probably sleight of hand for some of those bigger magazines could help out with that kind of reload time, get you straight back into the firing. But it's up to your personal preference. If you don't feel like you need that accuracy and recoil, by all means, just choose what you'd like, what suits your playstyle. And when it comes to kit, fully loaded, obviously, we always want to have that full ammunition supply for any fight coming forward, but in the beginning when leveling this weapon surplus, perfect for that kill XP. When it comes to the rear grip, again, we're going for polymer grip. We want more of that accuracy, recoil during sustained fire, and add into that flinch resistance. Flinch, you know, we all hate it, and it really does knock you off your shots. Even with this added flinch resistance, you're going to have some moments where it's going to knock you off target. I hope when it comes to the Pacific Warzone integration, the flinch isn't as strong as it is inside of Vanguard. But if it is, we're going to want that flinch resistance. But at the end of the day, we also want that accuracy and recoil during sustained fire, just making this thing pinpoint laser. Now in the beginning, rubber grip, obviously for recoil control. You could arguably go for the fabric grip if you felt like you can control the recoil, didn't need that added recoil control just for that ADS and sprint to fire before getting all the way down here to the polymer grip. Now when it comes to the magazine, in the beginning, obviously the SAKURA 45 round mag, perfect for lots of different occasions, larger magazine. But for me personally, the 6.5 millimeter SAKURA 75 round, all the ammunition you'll possibly need. The movement penalty isn't that huge, and neither is the ADS penalty. It may seem like it's going to be extremely slow, but since we're taking a lot of medium to long range engagements, and even on shipment, I didn't have much of an issue with the ADS time, maybe a few here and there, but considering a lot of times I'd either be phasing a shotgun or possibly some type of SMG that are generally going to be faster at ADS, that's the trade-off you're going to have to make in certain situations like that. But when it comes to a medium and long range fight, the ADS time on this is going to be damn near perfect, short as can be, and quickest to just get right into the target. Now, you could make the argument, 8mm Klaus rifle, I tried it a few times. It almost felt as though I was getting the same results, even though this does bump up our damage to at least, by at least 6. And as you can see, effective damage range, bullet velocity are going to be going up with this. This is something I see being something, or being a meta attachment when it comes to going into the Pacific Warzone. 50 rounds, perfect for, or enough, at least take 2, possibly 3 down, going forward. Quick reload, only going at 2.9 seconds here. Something that could be paired with the, losing my train of thought here. Anyways, in Vanguard right now, arguably this and the 75 round, the biggest difference was the simple fact that this is only 50, not 75. This may seem like it's doing more damage, but and a lot of times with the added recoil it has to it, still a pinpoint laser, but it just felt like I'd rather have those 75 rounds. It felt like it was killing just as quick with the SAKURA 75 as it was with the Klauser 50 round mag. But when it comes to Pacific Warzone, I guarantee you the 8mm Klauser is probably going to be the go-to just for the simple fact of amplified damage range, and that bullet velocity. Now, ammo type, I tried out FMJ, frangible, incendiary. I didn't really mess around with it. I didn't want to really cut down on too much of the damage range. I didn't feel like I needed it. But the hollow point, I chose this, and it felt like it was doing a bit better. Some of those times when you're shooting somebody in the chest and you're accidentally hitting the arm, you know, they're ADS'd, you're hitting them straight in the arm. This could help to just kind of blow through them a lot quicker. Maybe sometimes you kind of moving pretty quickly, especially on shipment. There could be moments where you're just kind of pulling up your aim, you're kind of diagonal going across those legs. You want to maximize that damage, and since there's not much range, or we're not going for a lot of long range shots, especially on shipment, everything's just straight in your face. This can really help out when leveling this weapon, or just going for a high kill count, possibly trying to go for a V2, just really annihilating him. Now later on, possibly when it comes to Pacific Warzone, it's either going to be lengthened or incendiary. I don't know how strong bullet velocity is going to be affected, or is going to affect your shots when it comes to Pacific Warzone just yet, but that may be the one that everybody's going to start using, just to have that additional length of time that bullet can keep going straight before dropping. And so it's something to look at for later on. Under barrel, we're just going for the Carver foregrip, just adding to that recoil control, maybe a little bit of hipfire accuracy. You could arguably go on down, get the M1941 hand stop, just so we only cut down on the hipfire instead of the ADS time. All up to your personal preference, or you could just, if you felt comfortable with that recoil, even without that Carver foregrip, M3 ready grip, going to be a really good one to go with. It's going to take a little bit more recoil control off there, but you'll have the ADS and the sprint to fire and aim walking movement speed. Since we got 75 rounds, you're kind of moving around some of those corners. That can be beneficial to you. But like I said before, absolute laser, no recoil. Automaton is one of those weapons I see going into the Pacific Warzone, extremely strong. I might even just try using this one, my first drop in to the Pacific War Zone. This may be the one weapon that I start using. I thought I was going to be using the NZ41, but I may be at a tops up here, considering this has a large magazine, extremely low recoil, pinpoint accurate, decent damage, and that high fire rate on top of that. It's kind of a toss-up. I'm arguing this weapon just about above everything at this point. DP27 is even going to take a side swipe for this, but this is one weapon you definitely need to level up soon. And let's get straight into that gameplay, and hope you guys have a good one. God damn it, the flames are going through it. Of course, the glide bomb's what gets me. Ah, fucking hate that I can't jump up that sometimes. How did we get evened out on these sides of the map? Damn! They're about to fuck up my spawning right here. They're fucking up the rotation real quick. Oh shit! They fucked it up bad. Fuck them. That could have been a V2 right there.